Apparently, beer was originally brewed by women. I saw this post on Instagram and of course I had to find out more. And it turns out the women have had quite the role to play in the history of alcohol, but books on the subject have pretty much left them out entirely. Brewing was originally largely considered women's work. I did a bit of digging and what I found was really interesting. Not only were some of the first brewers of beer women, but the Sumerians actually have a goddess dedicated to beer and brewing, and her name is Ninkasi. The history of brewing beer dates back to Mesopotamia around 35 to 3100 BCE, so beer's been around for a long time. It became a staple in the diets of people in Mesopotamia, and one of the reasons for this is because only fresh water was used to make beer and it had to be boiled. So it was actually healthier to drink than water that came from the canals, which could be contaminated by animal waste. The fermentation process was also a pretty effective way of killing bacteria and waterborne diseases. Cheers to that. Beer was regarded as a drink of the gods, and Ninkasi was seen as both a brewer of the beer and part of the experience of beer itself. The buzz that was felt after having a few drinks was thought to be her divine essence. There was a prayer called the Hymn to Ninkasi, which was really interesting because not only was it a way to worship the goddess, but it was actually also a way for people to memorize beer making recipes. This was really useful at a time when not many people were literate, so it gave them a really easy way to follow a recipe. Pretty cool hack when you don't have access to Google or Spotify. Interestingly, Ninkasi isn't the only goddess of beer to exist. In Zulu mythology, Mbaba Mwana Maresa was the goddess of harvests, rain, rainbows, fertility, and beer. Talk about a woman of many talents. She had a crocodile head, the body of a snake, and apparently an insatiable sexual appetite, although with a slightly dodgy habit of eating people's faces and sucking out their brains. Sounds like she might have also been the goddess of a hangover. There's also the Egyptian goddess Hathor, who among other things ruled over women, love, and drinking. And she was honoured at the beginning of the annual flooding of the Nile River with a festival called the Drunkenness of Hathor. There's also Deolatis, the Celtic goddess of ale and water. All we have of her is one inscription, but it's launched a UK-based organisation to support women in the brewing industry, so that's pretty cool. All in all, a pretty awesome set of ladies if you ask me. So the next time you raise a glass of beer or a pint, maybe offer a cheers to the female goddesses and brewers in its history. Let us know in the comments if there are any other goddesses that you would like us to cover in this series, and as always, make sure to subscribe to Sex and Space to keep up with more voyages like this one.